daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies. Metal daddies.
Welcome back to Death Metal Daddies.
Hi,
My name is Jeff,
I'm Silas.
and yeah, we're back with another week with Death Metal Daddies. Obviously, I've already said it twice now. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a
how'd
really
you
cool riff.
How'd your week been?
Um, it was crazy as always. This week dealing with a lot of car bullshit. So it's getting to crunch time, and you know me, I like to push things off. And so Lexus tags expire in May, and gotta get it inspected. And we failed two inspections now so far. And the first one, so it was a conundrum because I take the truck to work a lot, but I scheduled her to get a car inspected at Big O because it's like on my way to work. And so I was just thinking, after work one day, I'll schedule it at like 4, stop in there and just on my way home, you know. Well, the day that I scheduled it, I decided to take the truck to work, and I totally forgot about the inspection until like midday. I'm like, fuck. Now I got to take off work early to go home to get the car and then drive it back where in the same vicinity of where I just was all day at work. So, whatever, not that big of a deal, waste of gas trip. But so I go in there and, well, actually, I get off work, get home. The kids want to come with me, Dad's home, yay! And I'm like, all right. Or I even messaged Lex, I think, on my way before. I was like, look, I only have so much time to get there. If they do want to come with me, make sure they're ready. She did, and so they come with me. But we're sitting and we get to Big O, chilling for 20 minutes, and I was like, huh, should be done anytime, and another 20 minutes goes by. It gets to like 45 minutes. I was like, dude, what in the hell? And now the kid, Stella was napping on me the whole time. That wasn't too bad, but Lex was, having to go potty, and then she wouldn't go potty because she was just being shy in an area she didn't. I don't know. I don't know what the deal
hmm
was. Kids are. But anyways, so she was just getting antsy, and then like I get to my point, I like stand up and I just kind of transform into a Karen, and I'm like, all right, what the fuck, man? And I go and I look, and they have like their bay windows where you can like see inside the shop. And so I see our car is up on the lift, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like this is an inspection. And so I turn around, there's a dude just standing at the desk, not really looking like he's doing anything. I was like, "Hey, what's taking so long in the car, man?" I was like, I just got an inspection. I know it's still on the left. He's like, oh yeah, well it's a car's got to be in a shop for a minimum of 45 minutes for an inspection. That's law. I was like, really? That's law? Yeah. Oh yeah, state law. He's like, but I'll go check. I was like, okay. And so he goes out to check, and I'm just like, dude, I have a computer on my hip. So I get out my phone and I literally Google, is it state law in Missouri to have a car in a shop for 45 minutes to pass a vehicle inspection? And I got the exact opposite response. It was, no, there is in fact not a minimum time requirement. A vehicle needs to be in a shop. So whoever's listening to this, and if you're a mechanic, let us know if that is law or not. But on my Google search results, that's what I got. So I'm thinking this motherfucker's lying to me. Now I'm like double pissed off. And he walks back in, and I was at that moment where, like, yeah, I wanted to bring it up, the fact that I just looked this up, but I also got my kids with me. I'm just really trying to get out of there at this point. I didn't want to, like, hey, so did you lie to me? You know, be that dude. But so I'm like, whatever. But conveniently, 10 minutes later, after that, my car inspection gets done. Like shortly after that, he goes to check on the guy. The guy like grabs his tools and shit and like slugs over to the car. And I'm just like, oh boy, I bet I failed this one now. And he takes the car down from the lift and shit gets all done. He's like literally walking all sluggish and like kind of attitude-ish, like he was pissed off. I don't know if I interrupted his break or something, but he brings my keys to the front desk, and the guy like gets at the thing and starts reading it, and he's like, "Huh, you don't have any vibration in that vehicle by chance, do you?" I was like, "No, because there really is none." And so he's like, "Well, it says you got two busted belts in your rear tires." So, and it failed, and bad wiper blade. So it failed. I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Wait, wait,
I
wait.
was literally,
How can he tell if there's busted belts in the tires?
I don't know, dude.
Because you should
That's
be able.
that was my exact thought. I don't know. I was just like kind of so caught off guard. And but I told my neighbor about it. He was like, "Dude, if you had busted belts in those tires, you'd fucking know it." I was like,
Yeah,
"That's what I was kind of thinking." But I also noticed the fact that, if you're gonna write a bad wiper blade and fail me on inspection on a bad wiper blade, that's fucking an extreme level of pettiness that I've never even heard of. So I knew that I had probably pissed them off by bitching about how long it was taking. He probably went out there and was like, "Hey, douchebag's in here bitching about how long it's taking. Make sure you take your time with this one." Probably not. Probably being extra. But, it's just, I was so fucking pissed off. And I was literally so mad when he told me that. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I know, man. Sometimes these things can be stupid." I was like, I wasted my fucking time. I literally said that. I felt bad. I had my kids, but still was still napping, surprisingly. But I was just like, all right, whatever. Let's just pay. Get the fuck out of here. So I did. I bitched about it all night. So it is what it is. And so I just rescheduled that, got an inspection today. They failed me again. So
same
we got
place.
two bad tires. Yeah, no, I took it to Lloyd Bell. So I had to get a second opinion, So I guess there was some validity to that situation. Apparently we have bad tires. That's cool, whatever. But both places are, that's their job. So I'm also thinking that they're probably trying to make a sale and stuff, but I don't think I think I went into it with a bad attitude because I already took off work early. I'm just expecting a quick 10-minute ordeal. Okay, grab my car, sweet, just so I can go get these tags renewed. But I'm like stuck still at phase one, so with some bad, shitty tires. So, yeah, that's been my week.
Yeah, I've never heard
How was your
anything
week?
good from Big O tires. I've always heard bad things.
Well,
Uh,
dude, you know what? It's a newer shop where it's at, and there's like three locations like around the lake. One on Passover, and then this one, which is on the dam, like I said, right on my drive to work. It's a newer shop. I've had good experience there in the past, but I also noticed that it's a whole different like swing of mechanics. Like I don't recognize the same one that because I had tires put on my truck there. I think a while back, I guess when I started the maintenance gig, but um, and so I've had good experience, but man, it's just the last two times I've been in there, it's been shit. So yeah,
yeah.
I ain't going there again.
And when it comes to like the belt of the tires, because I used to work on, I'm not super car knowledgeable, but I used to work on like tires and oil changes and stuff like that. So a busted belt, usually it means the tire's going to start looking like, or at least fe if you feel it, it'll be all weird, almost like those globes where it's like you can feel like the mountains ridging and stuff like that. That'll be like the tire because the belts
Yeah,
are holding the tire together. So once it breaks, it's going to be all uneven and like peaks and valleys. So I feel
yeah.
like if it happened, you would notice
Well,
it, or it's too early to where they
yeah,
shouldn't even be able to tell.
yeah, yeah. I think it's something like that. I mean, um, I like I said, I think they're also trying to make a tire sale. Maybe they
Hmm.
thought they could have got me, but I had that bad attitude already going into it. And so after they tell me this, and then they're like, "Oh, you need some new tires. Want to buy here?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. Give me my keys." But so it's just a shitty situation. But yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna go elsewhere. I already ordered tires online. I talked to the neighbor, and what he's done is he buys his tires online because you can find them cheaper that way than what I believe a mechanic is going to probably give you. But and then I guess you could just bring them to a shop and be like, "Hey, can you put these on here for me?" And they'll just charge you like there's like apparently
Balancing.
a shop local to here that does like twi yeah, like some charge for the mount and balance. But
Yeah. I don't know. I would still recommend going to that second place because usually what will happen is if you fail inspection, as long as you keep that slip and you take it back,
mhm.
they'll only inspect the
Yeah,
things that they knocked you for.
right. Yeah, and both places have told me that. I just hit Lloyd Belt today, but that was another part of the thing. I went to Big O one day just to drive in. I was hoping that they could just inspect me. How long is an inspection? It's not that big of a deal. And so um, I went to Lloyd Belt because we've worked with them before and I've had good experience with them. And so like today, I just called because yesterday was Memorial Day. I figured a lot of places were closed, so I called today. I'm like, hey, I need to schedule an inspection. And he's like, all right, I can get you in today at 3, 3:30, 4, 4. And I was like, shit, that's hell yeah, 4. So, that right there already makes me happy because Big O, I tried to drive there. He's like, oh, I was like, I just need an inspection. Oh, I could schedule one for you. I was like, oh, okay. So it had to be like days out at a certain time. So I'm already scheduling this thing and I'm just like, I don't know. I just thought it was crazy that an inspection took over fucking 40 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
just
little
never been the case
ridiculous.
for me in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and so
always
Lloyd Belt today, they got me in that quick for an inspection. I was like, "Do you guys have time to change the oil too?" It's like, "Yeah, we could do that." I was like, "Awesome." And then so I had them change the oil, and they do a complimentary car wash with it, and it literally took maybe 50 minutes, and I was out of there.
hmm.
So like, I got additional shit done, and yeah, it's just I don't trust that Big O, man. Fuck that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, I've never heard good things, but that's always been like the Jeff City one.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're like franchise, type shit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were that big, but I guess they are. I don't know.
Well, did I ever tell you about my issue I had with Jiffy Lube when Danny went there?
Uh-uh.
Um, So I've changed Danny's car's oil before, but I hate doing it because it sucks so
Mm.
bad. It's a full body skid plate, like from the rear front bumper to the rear bumper. That's already annoying, but it's also European,
Oh
so it
shit.
has different sizes on the screws. Like I had to go to Lowe's and get a specific one,
Oh, that's a pain in the ass.
get all that off, and then it has the dumb the paper filter thing where you have to have a specific size thing to get the actual cap off to get to the filter. You know what I'm talking about? With those newer vehicles, how it has the
Jeez.
paper filter.
I don't I don't think I've had one because her car is just a 2015 and I haven't actually changed that oil. She might have that on there, but I haven't. I've only changed mine in my truck.
Well, there's
So
like
I'm not really
normal.
sure, honestly.
There's normal oil filters, like it's just a regular filter. It's metal. You look
Mhm.
at the bottom, there's a little ring. There's other cars, usually it's like foreign cars like Toyota has a lot, Volkswagen I guess does too,
Mm,
but it's a like pretty much a paper filter with some plastic on top and bottom and a ring around it. And it's housed inside this casing, and there's a specific like bolt on the top, and you need the exact size for that to fit to unscrew it and then get it off. So that's already a pain in the ass. So I
yeah.
decided, I just told her, I was like, hey, I feel like it'd be easier to just have someone else do this because, like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be more expensive, but I'd rather pay someone to do this instead of having to deal with this every time. Well,
Yeah.
it was fine at first, but it's been getting more difficult because I go to Walmart and they don't carry the filter, so I have to pre-buy the filter, which they don't knock
Oh
off the price
shit.
for it. So I like, all right, yeah, filter's in there, and then they do this whole thing like, well, it's this model, so it has to have this specific type of oil, and it's like their most expensive oil, and so it ends up being like 60 or $70. It's like I could do this like half the price. This is bullshit. So last time she went and did it herself. She like took it to a Jiffy Lube with the filter,
Uh-huh.
mind you. They charged her $130.
Yeah, dude. So I've heard of this. There's another shop here around the lake too, and it was a quick car wash, which I always thought that place was pretty cool. More for the wash, really, but it got bought out. There's a spot here at the lake that got bought out and one in Camdenton, and it's now just called Oil Changers. and like some car wash title, random, and but they're both called that. So, anyways, they get bought out. But then when that happened, I don't know what happened with the sale, if the place doesn't make enough money or what, but their oil changes there now are fucking $110. I was like, holy shit. And I literally found that out because I took the work truck of where I work there just to get an oil change. That's where they've had it done in the past. And he was literally just filling out my shit. And then he like leans in the, or I'm just, staying in the vehicle. You stay in the vehicle the whole time. And he's like, all right, it's going to be 110. Is that okay with you? I was like, is that, I don't know. I was like, 110? Like, what does that include? He's like, just the oil change. I was like, and a filter? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. He's like, but nothing else? He's like, no. Like, damn. I was like, I guess that's okay. I was like, when did it get that high? He's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's like, okay, take the money, I
Yeah.
guess. Shit. I would have changed my mind if it was my personal vehicle, but it was the work truck, so I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But I've been advised not to go there again.
Yeah, because that's ridiculous. Because you can still get like a 5 liter, which is pretty much going to cover most vehicles, unless it's trucks, then it's going to cost a little more. But 5 liter a thing of oil, even like the higher ends, is going to be like somewhere between $20 and $30, and that's all your oil right
Yeah.
there. Then the filter is going to be
Yeah,
anywhere from like
$30.
$5 to $10.
Right.
So there's no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just to cover like the labor wages, I'm guessing, man. That's the only thing I could understand because those places they have like a ton of staff working at once, but then you also got 4 guys doing the oil change. 2 are actually working. 2 are just fucking standing there with tools in their hands talking about, their girlfriends and shit. It's like that's literally what they did when I took this truck in there. And so it's just I don't
But
know.
there's no way it takes that. It's not that labor intensive. Because I remember when I
Yeah.
used to work on that stuff, we had a competition of who could get it done faster, and you can literally, because the longest time it takes is to actually drain the oil, and that can take like 5 minutes.
It's just funny, man. I remember I had a friend when I was a teenager and he took his cars to Walmart for oil changes and like one time they forgot to put oil in his car. So it just it makes me laugh. They're like, all right, let's go the fastest. They just fucking drain it and then they're just like, check it out. That's good. And then just fucking drive off smoking down the highway. It's like, holy shit.
No,
It's
none of us
like
fucked it up that bad.
they're like, that
At
was
least,
8 minutes, 30 seconds.
at least those of us who were doing the competition, none of us fucked up that bad. There was someone after I left, I heard it was someone brand new promoted engine as manager. Something about he drained the oil, drained the filter, but somehow stripped the thing when he tried to put the filter on. So no matter what he did, he couldn't put the
Oh
filter on.
no.
So they had to start and move the car out of the bay without any oil.
Oh shit. Damn, that sounds like a lawsuit. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet they were pissed, or did they just not find out?
No, they would have had to have told them. Anytime we had anything fuck up, we would have to tell them, and then we would have to get a manager involved, and they would do like some kind of voucher
Jeez.
thing. Because the most common thing I would fuck up with, I'll just admit it. There's some things I fucked up, but I would admit it. Was TPMS sensors in tires.
What is
It
it?
was the TPMS sensors in tires,
I don't even know what the hell that is.
tire pressure monitoring system. So
Hmm.
depending on the vehicle, it's some cars it's like a band that's around the rim,
Oh, just like
or
oh,
yeah, it can either be that or more commonly the uh fuck the pressure valve, the valve stem.
oh,
That
okay.
like on the outside it'll be like metal, and then when you pop
Hmm.
out the tire, you'll see it's connected to this little metal thing, like this little computer chip. But when you try to
Hmm.
pop the tire, because you're trying to pop the seal, the bead off the seal, if you have that in the wrong spot, you can break it. Or I've also found out when you try to put the actual like little there's a little metal thing you can get in there. If you unscrew it out, it'll just get all the air out. But if you put it back in and screw it too tight, that can also break it.
Oh
So that happened
shit.
to me a couple
Jeez.
times.
Oh man, that sucks. The manager just like walks out with a coupon. Look, ma'am, I'm really sorry about this, but hey, next one's on us. We topped your tires off too for you.
Well,
Wanted
no,
you, wanted you to know.
I think they get it in some kind of like
Oh
in touch with corporate for a corporate to pay for it.
shit, yeah, dude. Walmart's got that kind of money. I'm sure they're
Hmm.
not fucking worried at all about that. So
Yeah.
they got to be covered. That would just be hilarious. So they just try to get away with fucking free oil change, free wash.
I just put a regular a rubber valve stem in there. It's like, nah.
Tell you what, we're gonna give you a tire shine for this one.
Hey, why is my TPMS sensor light going off on my car? And that's your car's issue. We have nothing to do with that. It just started
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, no, that was like I remember seeing that light on when it came in. Shit.
Yeah, we noticed
I'm
when
sure those
we
that shop's got to be out there somewhere.
yeah, we noticed when you pulled in you had zero oil, so we decided not to touch it. It had oil when I
Yeah.
brought it here. I have You can't confirm that.
Yeah. Did you check your dipstick before you left the vehicle?
Yeah. Um, moving on from car stuff.
Yeah.
I I had a pretty uneventful week. It rained all weekend, so Memorial Day just
Yeah.
kind of a lazy Memorial
That's
weekend.
been like Seattle, dude. Seattle,
Yeah.
Missouri.
Flooding
It's crazy.
again. Not where I'm at, but everywhere around us because we're like very high
Mhm.
up. But we did. So I think I've talked about this before. Um, I've talked about that rare chicken breed I've always wanted to get, the Yam Samani. They're like the all black.
Oh yeah.
They're like $45 a chick. Like
Yeah,
they're
that's crazy.
they're the ones I've been wanting to get. Well, apparently someone here in Crane sells them. Not only do
Really?
they sell them for only $4.
What? Wow. Damn.
So
So
we
I guess
bought
don't go to
four.
Tractor Supply.
I don't even know if they sell that, but I know Cackle Hatchery, which is where we always buy our chickens at, they have them, and that's the price they have them. If you go online to one of those
Damn.
ones that will mail them to you, it's usually like 45 to 50. Yeah, we got some for like $4, and now I have four Ayam Samani chicks. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Do they look badass?
I mean, they look kind of like just typical small black chicks. Like we have zombie chicks, which are bred with Ayam Samanis. They look exactly like
Oh wow.
those, but the only thing is, I guarantee when they grow up, they won't have the silky feathers probably. So they'll look a lot like them, probably just bigger
Zom
and not silky.
zombie chicks. What is that really what they're called?
Yeah, so zombie chicks is kind of like a mix of something. It's like a silky combined with like a white chicken because the silky, no matter what, is gonna have black skin and black bones and stuff like that. So they'll breed that
Hmm.
with like a white chicken. So you'll see like a white chicken, but it has like blackish underneath, almost like it's dead, but it's a walking, hence zombie. But
Wow. It's
Cackle
metal.
Hatchery, yeah, Cackle Hatchery has their own version of zombie chickens, which is Silkies bred with Ayam Samanis. So no
Hmm.
matter what, they're black, but they're going to have that silky look, which is very like furry, almost Pomeranian-esque look for a chicken.
Wow. Hell yeah, dude.
But
So they're pretty up there in the status of cocks.
yes, these are the priciest of the Blackhawks.
Wow. Show cocks, huh? Are
Hmm.
they? Wow.
I don't know. Yamsamanis might because they are super rare. Although I feel like this day and age, I feel like I see more and more people with them because of the whole chicken craze, and everyone
Mm.
hears about this most expensive chicken, and everyone wants to get them. So I feel like I
Yeah,
see more and more of
luxury.
these.
This is a Jan Samani.
Oh, the BMW of all chickens, the
As
Miller
it's
High
just walking
Life,
around shitting everywhere.
the champagne of chickens.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
But also,
That'd be crazy though if like the you see like a cannibalistic zombie chick because like
yeah,
aren't chicks like can't they like become cannibals?
They usually do if they're like at the chick age, like the very young chick age. I hear that's why that sometimes people will use the red lights, so that way they all look red. Something to do with like so they don't recognize if another chick is bleeding or something like that, or maybe
Wow,
vice
that's
versa.
crazy.
But yeah,
So
they'll
weird.
become cannibalistic at a young age. Like you can probably
Wow.
I can probably even feed mine chickens now, or like cook chicken now, and they'd probably eat it. But I think it's the fact that they're older around other older ones that they're not going to. They're afraid they might get killed or something like that. So,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
other than that, not much happened. But more chicken news happened today. As when I got home today, I found out two of my chickens died today. Something got into the run. Because they were
Oh
both
shit.
headless.
Ooh. Wow.
Yes. One was by the like because it was in the run, so it's all like kind of a cage around it. One of them, my Bardrock, who I named Bardrock Obama, he was over by the edge. His head gone. All that was left was his skull. So someone ate the meat off the skull and left the skull still attached to the body. Feathers
Wow.
everywhere. Um, then
Fuck it up.
my Phoenix, my prize one that I was hoping was going to be my rooster, the one that was going to be my
Wow.
showcock. Um,
Damn.
it was in half. Like head gone, but this half was all that was left.
Dude. That is gnarly.
Yeah, it was very metal. Um, Sad
That
though,
is
because
like
that was
Cannibal
the one.
Corpse.
Yes, I don't
There's
know
like
if
a
it.
Cannibal Corpse album in there.
I was looking online. It looks like it's either probably a raccoon or a hawk. I don't know which it was would have been. I already
Damn.
inspected over the run. It did look like on the top. There was like a some of it was pulled back, so something could have gone in from the top. So it could have been
Huh.
either one of those. And
Damn.
what's weird is
Dude.
right next to is the coop that doesn't have a roof and have a chicken that's brooding, which means it's not leaving its nest because it wants to hatch eggs. That chicken is
Huh.
still there, and it was probably there the entire time. So why did it not go after that, but it went after these smaller ones?
Easier prey. I'm sure that bigger one, it knows that it might fight, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. I feel
You
like a
know?
raccoon could take that. That's why I think it's more likely like a hawk or an owl.
Yeah. Damn. That's nuts, man. Nature's brutal.
Yeah. Yep. So they are discarded. Um, yeah.
Chicken death.
I have four more chickens, so kind of taken care of.
Well, and way more luxurious.
Yes, the creme de la creme of the
So,
chickens. But yeah,
yeah.
I lost Bardrock Obama. I still have Sleepy Joe though, because
Damn.
we have a white Delaware chicken we call Sleepy Joe.
Still holding on, huh?
Yep, he's still doing okay.
Yeah. He's gonna be the longest lasting one.
He will be. He'll show them all. He'll be confused, but he'll show
Yeah, you're just gonna see him standing in corners of the coop,
them.
just like
Just walking around like a
trying to
Roomba,
look
trying
for
to
a
find
suit.
its space.
Turns around, trips, falls down the stairway.
Yeah. Yeah, that is it for my weekend. Nothing else really happened. Yeah, that was it. Pretty uneventful week. Been listening
Nice.
to a lot of music, but I haven't really been focusing much on the playlist. Been listening
Yeah.
to a lot of other stuff. Um,
Yeah.
got back. Good.
No, I don't know. No, I was
Oh,
just gonna. I don't know. I don't know where else. I've listened to some of the playlists, but it wasn't like in depth, like focus. You know what I mean? I think I did a good chunk of it mowing the yard, but
yeah. Because
a
you
lot of
probably noticed.
variety on there. I'll say that.
Yeah, and you might have noticed. There wasn't. Well, let's just move on to new release plays. No. But anyway,
Yeah.
with this
What are you
playlist,
listening to?
you'll probably notice that this was another week where there wasn't a lot of new releases that came out. So a lot of this was the underground stuff. Um, Biggest names on here is probably
Mm,
Midnight and thus Spoke Zarathustra. The rest is all stuff that I just pulled from Advent Void. So that's probably why.
okay.
Another reason why I wasn't super excited because I wasn't super excited. So I was also listening to a lot of Nails. which I forget how awesome
Nice.
Nails is sometimes. Even You Will
So
Never Be One of
badass.
Us. I've got back into
Oh
that a
man,
little bit.
that's so good. I
Hmm.
just love that that title matches that whatever sample it is. Or I don't even know if it's a sample. He's probably just saying it into the mic, You will never be what you will never be one
Yeah,
of
all
us.
those peepos.
You will never be what yeah. And then it just like meets at the final one. It's just hell yeah. That is a good ass album, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of that, and also today and yesterday, since yesterday was Memorial Day, I kind of forgot about it until the end because I was editing last night, but it made me want to put on Defeater because Defeater just gets you in that mood.
Mm,
So I
yeah.
listened to a lot of Defeater last night and a lot this morning because it just gets you in the feels. Once I start,
There
I
definitely
gotta
is
listen to
some
more.
yeah, there are definitely some rainy weather tunes.
Hmm. And I've gone back and I'm liking their newest one. And by new, it's like what, 5 years at this point, but still their newest one. I'm going back to it and I'm liking it a lot more. It's
Really?
yeah, it's more overarching. Like, yes, it's not as specific of a story as all the other ones, but still, I still love it. It's growing on me more and more. So, yeah,
Definitely, I don't know if I delved into that one a lot. I want to say I think I kind of skipped over it quick, like definitely more than the other ones earlier in their discography.
yeah,
I just remember them having them on like repeat for like a whole summer one year.
oh yeah, because they're especially like I really loved what was it? Letters Home, and then obviously Endless Days and Sleepless Nights, and what's the priest one? It's not Unanswered. The one where it's the
I'm
priest.
terrible with their titles. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd know their titles. I can look it up.
Yeah, because I can only think of songs like Contrition, Unanswered, December 1943, Divinations, Something Borrowed, Something Blue, Pillar of Salt. I can't think of the name of the album though. I want to say it's Unanswered.
Empty Days and Sleepless Nights, Letters Home, and Abandoned.
That's it. Abandoned. That's right. That's the one. Yeah, those three I love so much. Travels, there's some songs I love, but those three are
Mm-hmm,
the prime for me.
for sure.
But yeah, are you ready to let's get into this actual new releases. You want to talk about some new releases?
What are you guys listening to?
Weekly playlist.
Weekly playlist.
Weekly playlist. Weekly.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
sure do.
Let's start off with these singles. First up we have Nihilist featuring the one, the only, the Gangsters Who Slam, Peeling Flesh, with the new song Ice.
Hell yeah.
What'd you think of this?
Sick song. It's sick, dude. I definitely dug.
Yes.
Um, so this is Nihilist track, just featuring the vocalist, right?
I guess so. I don't know if it's a split because it has both band names on it. So I don't know if this is
Oh,
leading
true.
to a split. I don't know what it is actually because I'm also having a hard time figuring out who is the main band in this song.
Yeah, they're both kind of slammy.
Hmm. So I don't know who's the main in this. Either way, it still feels very peeling fleshish, so I very much do enjoy this. This is awesome.
Yeah. Nihilist is a Canadian deathcore solo artist that delves into the darker depths of the human psyche. Oh, I didn't know that.
Neither do I, because I don't really know much anything about Nihilist.
Just that's the yeah. Fred Nihilist is his name, I guess.
So would it have been
Cool.
more Peeling Flesh then?
Looks like it's his track featuring Peeling Flesh, is my
Hmm.
guess. But yeah, it rips, dude.
Hell yeah. Um, Up next we have Noonday Demon by King 810. It's they seem to still be keeping up kind of what they did with Rust Belt New Metal, keeping up with the metal, even a little bit like a lot of the dissonant chord or riffs and chords. I'm liking that.
Hmm.
What was your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, dude, I dig it. I mean, it's kind of giving me Alpha and Omega era vibes,
Hmm.
you know? So I think I'm here for it. I think they're kind of back to catching my interest and stuff with this. Definitely, I
Yeah.
prefer this over that, the drawn out poetic stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah. What'd you think of it,
Yeah.
man?
Oh yeah, I liked it. I don't remember too much of it. I just remember a lot. I remember enjoying it. It was heavier, and I remember the kind of almost mathy, but not really mathy. But it's the dissonant stuff they're doing with the guitars that it's like, ah, yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta stick with that. That's my thing. So yeah, I did enjoy this. It makes me hopeful of this new album, but I'm still skeptical based off of King 810 just kind of doing whatever they want. So I'm worried that we're gonna get this album all hyped up, and then these are the only two good ones, and the rest is all the weird stuff they've been doing.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty hyped for it. I think it's gonna be cool. I don't know. I hope. I guess we'll see soon enough.
Yeah, yeah. That's Noonday Demon by King 810. Check it out. Um,
It is crazy didn't they just release that other one last year?
I think it was an EP last year. They've released a couple EPs. Like they released that one that looked like
Okay.
Scary Stories in the Dark. Because I
Yeah,
remember we
Under the Black
reviewed it.
Rainbow.
Hmm. Before that, they had Follow My Tears. And before that was their album, AK Concerto 47 or something like that, in G
Oh
minor.
yeah, okay.
But yeah, a little bit of excitement coming up now. It's getting looking better.
For sure.
Um, Up next we have the new single for the upcoming album Heimat. This song is called Empowerment by the German metalcore band Heaven Shall Burn. Um, I don't know about you, but so I was excited with the first single that came out, but I feel like my excitement is waning more and more the more singles they come out for this album. Because this one, it's give me the vibes of why I've kind of stopped paying attention to this band in the first place. Because it feels like very reminiscent of some of the stuff they were doing, to where it's like
Hmm.
you can hear what's going on. It sounds kind of cool, but it's almost unremarkable and just kind of forgettable. I don't know. What'd you think about this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really been crazy about Heaven Shall Burn. I do like their name, I like their sound, but there is just something like I never really I don't know. They got some classics I'll go back to, but yeah, I could just, wasn't really the vibes I was feeling, so I just kind of moved over it. But they
Yeah.
definitely, they're bringing back the metalcore elements, and I think tastefully. But
Mhm.
yeah, it just wasn't really my cup of tea I was feeling.
Yeah. It just feels like for me, it just feels like it's the same kind of bland. Like there's not. I can't tell you a single specific like riff. I just remember there's a lot of the same like thing a Heaven Shall Burn always does is a melodic guitar and that same scream over right over it during like a chorus. And I'm not really.
Hmm.
It's for me, it's bland and it's Heaven Shall Burn's done this exact thing over and over again, so I'm just kind of bored with it. I was excited at first with this new album, but now I'm a little hesitant. So we'll see how Heimat comes out. Um, yeah, that's the new single "Empowerment" by Heaven Shall Burn. Check it out. Um, yeah. Anything to add on that one?
Nope,
Huh?
it didn't empower me. Sorry. Gotcha.
So I'll tell you what, this next one has me very excited. This
Hmm.
song is called War Drums at Dawn on the Day of My Death. And this is from the one man Native American black metal project, Blackbraid. This seems to
Oh,
be
oh
leading
wow.
up to possibly Blackbraid 3. Um, and if anyone who is not familiar
That's
with
cool.
Blackbraid, uh, he is a Native American who, or I think he just calls himself indigenous person. This is how I've always seen it stylized. But he has that, and it's a black metal project. And listening to this, I've heard a lot of people complain about this guy, or that it's not real black metal. But in all honesty, because I always hear people complain when it comes to black metal, their biggest gripe is always the production. If that's the only thing holding people back, I would want to show people this song because it's great black metal and great production, and it has me very excited.
Hmm.
So it has me very excited for this Black Braid 3 album. What was your thoughts on this song?
I dug it, dude. It's definitely kind of reminiscent of Abigail Williams' kind of higher screams that he, does. They're kind of in the same vein, almost kind of a Nal Nakrath style too. He like
Mm-hmm.
these are some crazy high screams, dude, and it's pretty relentless throughout the track, but it's really fast-paced, upbeat, pretty badass sound, man. I thought it was cool. Definitely crazy ass highs, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know that about the band, so that's just a one man project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to say just about everything has to, all the like concepts of the songs and the albums have to do with like Native American stuff. So it's kind of like, it makes me think of there was that one band you guys used to play with who they were black metal, but they had like a Native American theme, and it's kind of like it's kind of the concept of like how original like Norwegian black metal had they were against Christianity because of what they did to the Vikings, blah blah. And this is the American take of it. Like, well, I'm a Native American, and we all know what happened to all their culture and stuff because of it. So it's same
Hmm.
rebellious attitude, but from a different culture towards the same core culture that the Norwegian was. So I like that idea. It makes sense. So yeah, it's an interesting
That is
band.
cool. No, it's the theme's cool as shit, man. I love the elk on the cover too.
Hmm. Yeah, very
I forget what.
nature.
Yeah, it's I want to say it actually has a symbolic name for like Native Americans, but I'm forgetting what that is.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
badass, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I hear. I gotta look it up now. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Is it like a name of the deer, or is it like what the deer symbolizes?
Yeah, I mean, it says it symbolizes many things, but I'm trying to think of the actual name. Wapiti? Is that right? Wapiti. Yeah.
What's Wapiti?
Yeah, symbolize that's what elk is referred to as in like Native American
Oh,
culture, I
okay.
think.
I gotcha.
Symbolizes strength, endurance, and protection.
Ah.
It's just like a basic Wikipedia description though, so
I gotcha. Yeah, if that sounds interesting, you check out the new song by Blackbraid. Song's called War Drums at Dawn on the Day of My Death. And hopefully, this means we'll be at some point reviewing Blackbraid 3. We will see. More to follow. Um,
sweet.
Up next, we have another new song by Malevolence, the British boys from Brighton, Britain. Uh, Coming out with a new song called Salt the Wound. What's your thoughts on Salt the Wound?
I don't remember this band sounding like this. Am I mistaken? Have they done cleans like this before? I was very
I
thrown
know
off.
they've. So yeah, I will say for me, this song was a roller coaster. Because it started off like, oh God, no. But it got better.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like they've always done clean vocals, but how it started
Okay.
off felt very Shinedown-ish, or just that like
Dude, I mean,
butt metal
I
vibe.
was I was literally thinking it was a feature of fucking Moody from Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, not to shit on this band, but like I don't see how you cannot relate those two. Like it sounds pretty Five Finger Death Punchy, like as soon as it starts. So I was like, whoa. But I do agree it gets better along the ride. And I want to say there's a really badass like ending to it, like breakdown.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, they still bring the cool side of Malevolence in this weird track. So I do think it kind of recovers, but I don't know. We'll see, because I do feel like it is an uneven song. Starts up, I don't know, throws you a curveball right out the gate. So it's very weird.
Yeah, and if you're wanting a timestamp for the badass ending, it's like around the 2:30 marker. It's like a groovy kind of not really breakdown, but like just a switch up that's I think really helps it.
Yeah. Yeah, Malevolence, it's still good. Just hoping that they don't, continue on like, hey, my cleans sound awesome. We should have more of this. Like every now and then sprinkled in, like I've been fine with that. But I felt like this was a little too much right out the gate. Hopefully they don't continue down that path and, like you said, become more Five Finger Death Punchy. But we'll see. It's still Malevolence. They're still pretty good, pretty cool. Yeah, that is
All
Salt the
right.
Wound
What
by
about the
Malevolence.
new? Oh yeah. Are you a Woe's Me fan?
So I was actually thinking of skipping this song. I added this without listening to it beforehand, thinking like, "Oh shit, what was me is back." Because I will say, I know this is Death Metal Daddies. We're supposed to be talking about death metal, but I'll admit it. I loved what was me's first album. I listened to it a couple days ago. It still is pretty good, but I don't know what this is. What the fuck is this? Devil in my mind.
It it's definitely got some poppier, like it's on the poppier side of metal. I think they're like on the line where they can barely call themselves metal. But
Yeah,
they do have the chuggy chugs here and there, and it's pretty uber metalcore. But it was definitely a wild turn from Malevolence,
yeah.
and Malevolence was a wild turn from Blackbraid. So it's yeah, roller coaster of a playlist. But
Yeah,
I mean, I they have a following. I'm just not a member. I'll say
yeah,
that.
I don't think I will put another "Woe Is Me" song on our playlist because this was not good. Uh,
You know what?
yeah,
I don't know if I'll say honestly, it made me think of Coheed. It's kind of Coheed-ish at times.
ish, but I feel like
But
even that, I'd feel like Coheed because this almost feels like where they're trying so hard to get on Octane instead of Liquid Metal, like they're trying
mm,
to get to a certain audience and say, no, we don't want this audience, we want this audience. And I feel like Coheed, like there's some feels natural, like because there's so many different vibes you can get with Coheed. Like yes, you can get this, you can get this, you get a pop punk vibe, you can get like the Bright Side Sun, you get almost a little bit of a Metallica vibe. Welcome Home, you
yeah,
get the more symphonic vibe, progressive people. This just
yeah,
feels like I don't know how to describe it. I can't defend this.
yeah. I I'll say this. There was a heavier track on Coheed's album that I thought was cooler than this one.
Yeah,
I guess if
yeah,
I'm just gonna play the comparison game, but
yeah.
you know, it's woes me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. This is new Woe Is Me. New song Devil in My Mind. If you are a big Woe Is Me fan, check it out. I don't even know who's in this band anymore. Yeah, check it out. Um, so that's an odd song, but there's one more single I added mid playlist. I've been hearing some
I
buzz
see
about
this.
this. I've been hearing some buzz about this. And I've also been hearing some other accusations, potential, but I'll get to that after. But This is a brand new song by a brand new band. This is the only song they have out. This is another masked band called President. And it looks like the mask is almost like Richard Nixon-ish. Uh, but there's like this like cross in the background. I can't remember if it's upside down or not. But the name of the song is In the Name of the Father. Um, I don't know. Listening to this,
Is this a yeah, it's like a modified cross, but it's got like two lines up top. It's
yeah,
not
I want to
near
say it's
upside
like
down.
I want to say that's a specific type of cross, but I can't remember what it's called. But music-wise, listening to this makes me think of when I was first hearing about Sleep Token and everyone was hyping them up. And like I remember Nick Nocturnal made a music video or made a video and to where he's kind of like focusing on the heavier parts and then like a little bit of the other stuff. President sounds like what I thought Sleep Token was originally going to sound like to me.
Hmm.
It's pretty much the same vibe, just shorter and a little bit more of the borderline generic gent metalcore-ish. I don't know. What was your thoughts on this song?
I'm just now skimming it. There's cool moments, but generally just not really my vibe. It's very
Yeah.
Sleep Token-esque for me. It gents. There's some cool gent in there,
hmm
but yeah, it's probably about it.
Yeah, and I'm hearing so this is where the not that I say accusations, but I'm not it's not the ones that we always hear about in this realm, but I'm hearing a lot of people commenting and throwing around the accusation that they think this is an industry plant, which makes sense a little bit because really, why is this band getting so much attention when it has one song out? No one's supposed to know who these members are. So why is this all of a sudden getting all this attention, but the song is not super remarkable? It feels like uh, another record company saw the success of Sleep Token and is trying to copy it as the American version.
Would you be able to guess the members? So I'm like, what if it's like Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon? It's like a
Hmm,
supergroup hideout, a hidden supergroup. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
I could
And that could be
see,
very industry, you know? That would
yeah,
explain why they're coming out with like a million plays or whatever.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if they got
So
that many, but
I feel like someone has already, I feel like some people have already been saying they know who it is. And I don't recognize the name, so I can't even really repeat the name. But some,
no.
I guess a lot of people are already saying they know who it is. I don't know. I don't get it, and I don't really understand the whole like president name and like the mask. Like, how does that play into the religion thing or even the sound? Because when I saw that there's a band called President with that mask and they're gonna be playing metal, I'm thinking it's gonna be like maybe grindcore, some kind of extreme shit. And then I got pretty much Sleep Token. I don't know.
Hmm.
I was a little let down.
Yeah, it's crazy. They already do have like 550,000 monthly listeners. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, with one song and they came out like a month or a month and a half ago.
I don't know, man. Pretty crazy.
They have some major backing somehow.
Some people ride the wave, some people make the wave.
Yeah. That is the new and only song in the name of the Father by this new musical project, President. Check it out if you want to. Um, but yeah, that's it for new singles. Are you ready to move on to full-length albums?
I'm moved.
Hell yeah. What would you say out of this playlist? It's a weird playlist. If you have a favorite, what would you say is your favorite?
I'm gonna go with Midnight.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
Midnight
us
was
about
pretty
this
sick,
new
man.
tell us about Midnight's new album.
I loved how attitudey and um just nostalgic this sounds. Um, and I think this is another like mystery band thing. I
Um,
don't even know if it's really a mystery. I think he's pretty clear with his identity, but I know doesn't he don like a mask or something?
yeah, they like all wear masks, but from what I understand, everyone knows who he is because I guess he is was very big in the Cleveland metal underground and punk. Um, like he does a lot of interviews and stuff, and he talks about his old bands. Like, yeah, I was in this band, blah blah blah. So it's not that he hides it. I think it's just part of the like imagery kind of thing. So not really necessarily like mystery, but more of like just like the theatrical part.
Hmm. Well, I guess it's not really relative, but I don't know. It's definitely a cool band project thing, whatever the hell you want to call it. I really dig what they're doing, man. Badass tunes, but it's like I guess I didn't expect the whole mystery look to have this sound. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds like they're bringing super old school vibes, which is really badass. Punk vibes for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and just a great blend of those two. You know, it's like punk thrash, but like modern day relatability. Cleveland metal I thought was super badass. It just opens up with an anthem. There's honestly a ton of anthems on here. I imagine this dude live is or this band live is awesome.
Yeah.
Because it just seems very interactive, you know. Cleveland metal, Final Solution, Child Eaters. Child Eaters is badass, dude. If I have a favorite song, it's definitely Child Eaters. Did you listen to that one?
I did, and I actually had to. I felt uncomfortable with like the weird, you know which part I'm talking about, where he's giving like
Mid
instructions.
like yeah, there's like a
So
midpoint of where it like goes into like a progressive like uh, kind of I don't know what do you call that even? A narrative? Like a
yeah, it's like, so you don't want to deal with this, almost like infomercially kind of.
yeah, yeah. But it gave
So,
me I don't know if you listened to a lot of their albums, but like Viagra Boys. I was getting like
mhm.
super like a lot of Viagra Boys vibes. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. It's just really crusty, dingy. I don't know. It's cool, man.
So I will say I do love Midnight. I because remember when they've been around for since like 2012, but I found them around like it was what was it, the Blasphemy album? I feel like all their albums have Blasphemy in the title. The one with the like sheep and the dagger. I forget what it's called, but I remember hearing a lot
Mm.
of hype about him. And then I listened to him. It was like it's completely different than what I thought it was gonna be because I assumed like it was just gonna be like straightforward black metal, but it is more of that like first wave like Bathory, Venom, like it's more punk rockish. It's black and punk kind of stuff, and it's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Um, with this album, it is all covers. However, it's one of those things that you can't tell because they have so much of their own sound infused into it. Like, for example, because I had to go through the credits,
Wow.
like, I heard originally that this was single, these were covers. And like, it's like, surely Cleveland Metal is like their song. And then I looked at the credits, like, oh, it's not. So I had to start looking up who these other bands are. So I guess this is
Oh
like a
shit. I
kind of,
didn't even know
yeah.
that.
Well, here's the crazy part. Do you know the song Rock and Roll Fever? Did you hear that one?
I think so. Yeah, because I listened to this album, I think all the way through.
So, guess who the original of Rock and Roll Fever was? You will never be able to guess.
Shit. I have no idea. I don't. Ted Nugent?
David Allan Coe.
What? Really?
Yes, they
Wow.
even changed some of the words to where it's like we're listening to Bathory and something, and you're listening to I forget what he
Oh
says.
yeah.
Like they really do make these songs almost their own. Um, so, but yeah, this is kind of like a love letter to Ohio music that they grew up with. Like from what I understand, a lot of these
Okay.
bands are from Cleveland or from Ohio. Like David Allan Coe's from Ohio. Um, but I
That's
have no
crazy.
idea who most of these bands are. I actually had to go find the original Child Eaters song. It's like surely, because I guess this came out in like the 80s or 70s. It's like surely this was not, and that whole thing is in the song. It's like surely this was not, but sure enough, sure
The
shit,
whole thing?
yes. I could not believe that there
Wow.
was not an uproar when that song came out.
Damn. No shit. That's crazy. Damn, dude, that's brutal. Who originally sang that one?
Something. Uh,
David Allan Coe?
not Dave- no, it's fuck. Who was? It was some weird band, some like three-word band. Something frenzy or something sparring, something night.
That's fucking crazy. Wow.
Uh,
Dude, that's wild. Well, because you
yeah.
know what? Honestly, like this album was so easy to get through. Like it was just sounding like all fucking heaters for me. I was like, dude, every song kicks ass on this album.
And that's the
So that
thing
kind of
about.
that's pretty cool though. But like I definitely thought it was original music.
Well, that's the thing about them. I think that they are because that's really just how Midnight sounds. So I think if you love this, you'll love all their stuff because
That's
that is how
awesome.
they sound. Rubber City Rebels. That's it. They're the ones who
Wow.
sing the original Child Eaters.
That's fucking great. It's so easy to sing though. It was so catchy. Child eaters.
Yeah, that's it's Midnight is an awesome band. If you're listening to this and you haven't ever listened to Midnight, even if you aren't into this style, check it out. They're awesome. They are fun, and I
For
still want
sure.
to see them live because I think he still sets his like he'll like wrap a rag around the head of his guitar and like light it on fire and stuff in the shows, and
Huh.
it's it looks like an awesome
That's sick.
time.
That's cool, man. What about Steel, Rust, and Disgust? Because I thought
Uh,
that was so good. I was like, ooh, that's
I
a
want to
badass
say
line.
that's a cover. I'd have to. The only way I'm able to tell is that when I go to the song credits, because
Oh,
this is produced by Athanar, because that's who the main guy from Midnight. But it says written by Jamie Walters. I don't know who Jamie Walters is.
oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, if you go to Rock and Roll
Well,
Fever,
badass album.
yeah, hella good, and that's probably going to be mine as well. Because I do. This was probably the best sounding album this week. And also. I really Midnight even came out with an album last year. I wish I had known they came out with one last year. We would have had it on
Oh,
the list.
damn. Yeah, for sure.
But we finally get to review Midnight.
For sure. Definitely worth it, man. That was a badass album.
Uh, my second one for this week. Yeah, this other album. I'm having a hard time pinpointing because it feels like there's specific sound, but I can't pinpoint who they specifically sound like. But that is this new album. I'm done with self-care. It's time for others' harm by Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Um, this is like a old school OG style deathcore for a newer band. Um, but it's not the other like the other ones we've done. Like we've done Crucifixion, we've done I feel like there's another band that does a similar thing, but to where they go back to more of that OG deathcore MySpace sound. This is
Mm-hmm.
not that like dirty, super heavy way. This is almost like more melodic a little bit in some sections. It almost reminds me a little bit of like As Blood Runs Black's second album, Instinct, or even a little bit of like a less still melodic but less melodic version of Conducting from the Grave kind of
Mm,
stuff. Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. I did enjoy it. It's not moving the needle. It's not groundbreaking. It's not super amazing, but it does hit a spot. So I did listen to this a lot. What was your thoughts on this album?
Yeah, man. There's definitely a lot of cool shit going on. They definitely bring that like early 2000s vibes, and I honestly get like the first track or one of the first tracks. I Can't Save You. The opening, like it sounds like a Black Dahlia murder kind of
Hmm.
rip off, like honestly. But they just pull off those sounds really well, and it brings those sounds from that era, but it's definitely more clean sounding. Like it's
Hmm.
got that like modern day quality production on it. So, but um, a lot of cool stuff. I think that um, some of it's just kind of hit or miss for me, but they get these parts, these random moments where it just fucking crushes. And I mean, it gets badass, like,
Hmm.
just crazy cool breakdowns. So, um, definitely worth listening to. I think I'll have to like kind of delve into it more. But yeah, man, it was interesting. I did notice that looking at the track list now, it does look like there's some features on here. Boundaries on the track I Can't Save You, which they had an album last year, but I want to say we missed it. And it was on a lot of people's radars, but
Oh, the Spoke there. Oh, you talking about boundaries?
Boundaries, yeah. And
Yeah.
then the other feature is Santosha, which features the one, the only Big Chocolate disfiguring the goddess. So that's pretty sick. But and I think he's got a really badass breakdown if I remember right. But yeah, man, interesting.
Yeah, good fun album. It's I don't know, I'd be interested to see how this band does. Because I do kind of like this whole OG deathcore kind old MySpace deathcore sound kind of coming back a little bit. It's interesting. But yeah,
For sure.
that's this new album, The Spoke Zarathustra, with their new album, I'm Done with Self-Care. It's time for others' harm. Check it out. Um, this next album I was not into, but then after I listened to it, I saw that there's a lot of people giving it praise. And
Hmm.
that's this new album called Realms by Hexarray. Um, which if someone, if I didn't know any better, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, check out this album. This came out. This is a very obscure band that came out in like the early '90s, but they're awesome, and people are finally discovering them." I would 100% believe you because it does have that like old black metal sound. But I don't know. For
Yeah,
me, it just kind of throws me off.
it sounds like it was recorded in a cave in Norway in 1987, I want to say. And
Yeah.
if I had to take a wild shot in the dark, but yeah, man, it was definitely a vibe change from the album before. And it was just definitely has that old school black metal feel. Um, I can't say, I remember it thoroughly, but definitely prominent old school black metal vibes.
Yeah. Like I feel like the biggest audience for this album would be people who are very much black metal purists, like the true cult kind of people. I feel like this is like
Real
the
raw.
album right up their alley. Just for me, it's just not hitting me the right way. Just a little too raw for, especially coming off the heels of earlier in this playlist, Blackbraid. I was more in the mood for that type of black metal. This was
Mm.
not really uh, scratching my
Kind
itch
of
for black metal.
kind of too raw for your alley, is what you're saying.
Yeah, too raw dogging on the black metal. I need some protection when it comes to my black metal. But yeah, that's this new album, Realms by Hexarray. Check it out if you want to stay true cult. Um, Up next, I don't know if this is technically an album or if it's an EP. But that's this new release from this band called Mad Rost with the title Imagination Theory. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this sound. It's a very, I don't know, like thrashy. What would you call this? Just kind of,
Yeah, definitely like a death and thrash. Um, and yeah, it was cool, man. It rips. But I didn't listen to a lot of this one. I gotta say. But I dug the vibes.
yeah,
I
I
love the
like this.
cover.
I think it's also just the whole it's a huge vibe change from coming off the rawness of Hexarray right into Madross because I feel like the production on this was very well done. It's very crisp, and then the thrashy new wave of thrashness sounds very good and crisp on this. I was a little surprised though because I assumed like this was like a newer band, like a new small band, but this album has a live track on it.
Oh
And then
wow.
so I did some digging. This band's actually been around since 2012. Uh,
Oh wow.
So yeah, they have a couple of live albums. So yeah, if you like this,
Hell yeah.
you have a whole back catalog to go check out. So go check out Mad Ross, the new project Imagination Theory, and more than likely you have a whole catalog you can check out. Brand new freshness. So if you enjoy this, there's plenty more where that came from. Check it out.
Sweet.
This next one, uh, little weird. I like elements of this. So
Mm.
what I'm talking about is Man Under Erasure by this band called Feversea. So I'll say I think I like this band's vibe more than anything. Um, but the issue I'm having is, so I don't know if it's the same singer or if it's two singers. But there's this girl kind of doing like they're bouncing between like this doom metal sound to where she's doing like these cleans. But then there's like these, it gets heavier to where it's almost like a progressive kind of sound, like progressive death metal. Not really death metal, but it gets heavier. And when that heavier stuff kicks in, it is so awesome. And I think it's more of just like the contrast of how soft the girl's voice is, but also when the
Mm.
heavy stuff comes in and they have a little bit of the synths going on in the background, kind of calling back to the
Yeah.
cleaner parts of the song. Oh, I love that part. But I don't know if I can really fully say it's amazing because it's like 80% cleans and 20% of the other stuff that I like of this. So I don't know. I feel like if it was flipped, I would be in love. But right now
Yeah.
there's too much of the stuff that I feel like is for me filler. What's your thoughts on this one?
I definitely dig the vibes, and it actually reminds me of that Lowen band that I kept yapping about for the longest time. But yeah, epic doomy moments, man.
Hmm.
Huge, just fucking haunting sounds, especially with the synths and stuff. Crushes, man. But yeah, it's got a lot of that kind of soft, doomy singing stuff, but it's cool. Cool
Hmm.
sounds. It looks like they're from Oslo, Norway.
Okay. That kind of might be part of the reason, like, especially like in the ending when it gets heavy in the song "New Creatures Replace Our Names," like, because it has like
Mhm.
most of the song is like the cleans, but then it gets into the heavy parts, like the double kicks kicking in, the screaming's happening, and then it just kind of lets the screaming stops, but it just lets the band keep doing the heavy stuff, and then those creepy, eerie synths from the beginning kind of play in the background, giving that haunting vibe. Like I love that. I just wish they would
Yeah.
do more of that instead of what, maybe 4 minutes of the other atmospheric building. I don't know. But
Mhm.
I love the
Yeah,
vibe. Uh,
I do too. They got a great name.
mm-hmm.
Feversea. Damn,
Yeah.
dude. That's an awesome name.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of the probably best band names I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Check this band out. I want to say they're a smaller band. Let me look at their. Yeah. Go check out Fever Sea. They need some love and yeah, this is their debut. Check out the debut album
Nice.
Man Under Erasure by Fever Sea. Check them out. They are unique and awesome. They deserve your attention. Check them out.
Mm.
Um, Up next, we have Ossuary with Abhorrent Worship. Um, this is a weird, but the more I listened to it, the more I did like this band. Uh, it's hard to kind of. I'm kind of actually having a hard time trying to remember. I remember enjoying this. I remember the Undrownable Hound of Evil. I really enjoyed. So kind of like a Death Doom kind of vibe. Very modern
Hmm.
sounding. I also very much love the artwork of this album. Kind of makes me think of like Imperial Triumphant with like a Hellraiser kind of vibe to it. Uh,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on this album?
I did not really listen to this one. I kind of glanced at it. I get the Imperial Triumphant vibes even musically, and I think like you said, the cover definitely is there too. But yeah, just kind of like yeah, it was cool, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I just didn't really delve into it a lot.
yeah. I think I think that might be somewhat of the issue is that so I did enjoy this and listening to it, but trying to remember it, I'm having a hard time actually getting it to pop through of all the memories I have of these other albums. So I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't want to say longevity is my issue. I think just feel like I'm having a hard time remembering it with all these other stuff, which you
Yeah.
like will ha yeah happen from every now and then. But I feel like I enjoy this more than I remember it. So yeah, check out Ossuary, Abhorrent Worship. It is good. Check it out. I'm just having a
They
hard
got
time, and
cool
that's on
titles.
me. Yes.
I mean, it's worth
Inborn
it for the
Scourge
titles.
Unbound, Forsaken Offerings, Instinctual Prostration, Barren Lamentation.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Um, there is one more, but I didn't really check this one out. Did you check out Upper Decker? If not, we can just.
Hell yeah. Hell
Did you
yeah. I
check
had
out?
to with the name, dude. Yeah.
What was your thoughts on Upper
Um,
Decker?
Listen to Upper Decker, dude. I have not, listened to this front to back, but first of all, look it up. Check out this fucking cover. It's super ridiculous, very stupid, tons of stupid shit going on. It's called the Scatonomicon, and obviously it just says it right there. It's full of shit. So, but you have songs like Egg, Big Biceps Ants, and Fatberg. Fatberg is great. It's got that air horn at the beginning, and then it just fucking gets brutal as hell real quick. So, yeah, man, I'm all for this one. Fecalized at birth.
And Justice for Hjalmi, uh, Force of
And
Suspended
justice for
Foreskins.
yeah, yeah. This is a Goldie here.
Yeah, I'll probably have to check
10,
out the Scatonomicon.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
All right, yeah, I'll have to check this one out. That's my bad. Because this also was a late edition. I think I added it the day after. Because really, I've been having issues with these smaller bands that I see from Avant Void, the Facebook group. Because sometimes they'll say it's out, and it is release date. For some reason, it's not on Spotify yet, so it takes like a day or two for it to drop. Apparently, there's this
Uh,
band that I've completely forgotten about who just released their second album um, Friday, but hasn't hit Spotify yet. So I just kept waiting and waiting. So hopefully it drops next week. That is the new album by Unbirth, which I am excited
oh,
for. Did I ever show you Unbirth?
I can't. I'm not sure. I can't remember. You might
They're
have.
So if you remember the record label New Standard Elite, it's pretty much all like brutal death and like slam bands is pretty much what all of New Standard Elite's lineup is. But Unbirth was on there, so I checked them out because I was going through all their roster, and they're not brutal death metal, they're not slam, but they're just regular awesome. I think it was just the contrast. It's awesome death metal. So having a second album almost 10 years later, uh, it's exciting. So hopefully that will come out soon. Pillars of
Hell yeah.
Cacophony.
Yeah, so I just sent you this. This was a Sean Rec this week. This is some very intense, dissonant, twangy type metal shiz. If that sounds like it's up your alley with blasts in your face, check out Pirelli Pomena by Pillars of Cacophony. So yeah, this is on Bandcamp. I can't speak for Spotify. I have not looked it up on there.
I'm looking them
But
up
yeah, man,
now.
it's got some crazy shit in here.
Yeah, I'm going to check this out because that sounds like I might be. I don't know. It can go either way. It could be awesome, or it could be because kind of like the one with the Minotaur that he sent us, the one with the almost unpronounceable name. Do you remember the one I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
it's like 90% of them.
That one I kind of
I don't
liked.
know.
And then he sent us the
Yeah.
other one where it's like the Jesus one. And that wasn't too into that, and that was also maybe uncomfortable. So we'll see which side of the
Yeah, it's either awesome or nails on chalkboard.
yes. So we'll see which side of the thing
It's a
is
coin.
for this one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll try to listen to that this week and come back with an answer on that one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I did send you something though last week. It's been a minute since I've listened to it, so I'm gonna try to remember. I remember my thoughts on it, but that was that new album by Angst. Ancst, I
Mm,
want to say, because I've been seeing a lot of
yeah,
buzz about this album.
Oh wait, album angst or gutrectomy angst?
It's an actual band called Angst, or is it Angst?
Oh, let me see this.
Yeah, Angst.
Maybe.
It's
Oh,
uh,
okay, okay. ANCST.
mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, with
Shit,
their
I
new
forgot about
album
this one. I did
Dominion.
listen to it.
Yeah. So I remember I've been seeing a lot of people talking about this album, and I missed it when it came out. Re-listening to it now just to refresh my memory. It's an awesome sound, and it is pretty good. The only thing is that for me, anyways, it felt like the sound kind of wore thin after about the fourth track. Um, but I will say those first four songs was like, oh God, this is awesome. I see why everyone is talking about this. What were
Hmm.
your thoughts on this?
It sounds awesome, dude. I didn't, like I said, I didn't listen to this one all the way through either. But from what I'm glancing at now, I'm definitely liking what I'm hearing. Really
Mm-hmm.
good quality production sound to it. Everything sounds crisp and clear. I'm gonna have to delve through it later, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back. I don't know. I feel like I need to actually put this on a playlist or else I'm not going to fully sit down and try to listen to it. So we'll probably just put this on the playlist along with Pillars of Cacophony, just so to sit down and actually give a full review on this. Yeah, we'll
First world
we'll come back.
problems.
We'll be back with Angst new album Dominion. But yeah, any other new releases you think we missed?
Um, I don't think so.
I gotcha. Are we good to move on to metal news then?
I think so, man.
Metal news.
All right, metal news. Um, two things I think we technically could talk about. One of the things was the thing I saw you sent me, um, and that is so Cryptopsy is re-releasing, I think for a 30th anniversary for the Blasphemy Made Flesh, their debut
Yeah.
album, and part of it they're going to have an 8-minute medley featuring who's all in the featured in this medley again? I know it's a lot of big names.
So, okay, I guess I missed that part. I didn't even realize it was an 8-minute medley. I thought they were like incorporating those people throughout this album, but um, yeah. So this is uh, members of Undeath, Shadow Intent, and Emasculator. So, Ben Dure, Shadow of Intent, Stabbing vocalist Bridget Lynch, Undeath vocalist Alexander Sasson, Carcosa vocalist Johnny Ciardulo, Unfathomable Ruination vocalist Malika Sundaramurthy. But I think she's more primarily emasculator right now. But and then Billy Strings, the bluegrass musician, because I guess he's a mega fan of Cryptopsy. So that's pretty badass, man. That's cool as
hmm
hell.
Yeah, it's when I saw that I wanted to figure out if I could just go ahead and pre-order the vinyl. But that's the thing, I don't know if it's on the vinyl or I don't know if it's only on CD or on digital. Because I didn't see anywhere on the
Hmm.
track list for the vinyl how where that's gonna fit.
It'd definitely be interesting. Like I don't know that album off the top of my head, so I would have to. I don't know. I'm excited to delve into it with this though.
hmm
I think it's I'm really looking forward to that, man. This
And
band is just fucking climbing the totem pole for me, dude. They're awesome.
I'm interested to see how this medley is gonna go. So are they gonna do like sections of each song, just like very quickly, and then the whatever guest vocalist will do the part for that, and then just kind of culminates into this giant 8-minute track? Because I don't
I
understand how
don't
that would
know.
work.
I don't know. Is that what the article says? Like I don't even think I actually read the article. I think that I just looked at this little tag post.
Yeah, I want to say
But
because I saw that and started thinking, it's like, well, if it's a remaster, you're gonna have a lot of people pissed off. It's like, why are you gonna re-release an album? We just want the songs on vinyl. We don't want all these other people on it, kind of thing. So I do want to say that's what the plan was. So that way they could re-release it. Everyone could get on vinyl, and if they want to, there's this extra medley. Just a second. So this is from Metal Injection. Scroll on down. And a new medley called Season Mist is reissuing Cryptopsy's 1994 debut Blasphemy Made Flesh, and it's got seriously impressive bonus material. The new version of Blasphemy Made Flesh will feature the entire original album, a previously unreleased 1995 live set, and a new medley called Blasphemy Made Flesh featuring the following. Then all those people. Where's the part where
that's
it's 8?
badass.
I don't know where I got the 8-minute part. Yeah, they're all going to be in one medley called Blasphemy Made Flesh. So I'm wondering if it's one of those things where it's going to have sections of each song, and then each of the guest vocalists does this thing from that song,
That'd be
to where it
sick. I
all
don't know.
mashes together.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just taking that album and taking the best parts. They're just gonna make a song out of this.
Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking is what they're doing. It's like just
You
one
think?
long, yeah.
Wow. That'd be interesting. I don't know. Excited to hear it though.
hmm
That's for sure.
And also, the went further in the article. I guess Billy Strings is actually so I've been seeing him every now and then for like guitar stuff. He's like a really good guitarist on the bluegrass side. But I guess he helped fill in. I guess there's like weird borderline grindcore hardcore band called Flesh and Blood Robot. He helped fill in for guitars when they reunited. I watched that. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then some of these people started looking familiar. I was like, wait a minute. So this Flesh and Blood features people from See You Next Tuesday.
Hmm.
So Billy Strings is playing music with pretty much See You Next Tuesday people. It's all it just
Wow.
I just find it weird that someone who's pretty popular in like the bluegrass country is into great music like stuff
Yeah.
like that.
It's very weird, but then I mean, you got dudes like Mark Morton who's very
hmm
um vocal about how he's primarily a fan of blues and like metal's just kind of
Yeah.
like a side thing for him, which is bizarre, but
Yeah. But it always
it's pretty
feels
cool.
like I feel like it's more understandable though, like when you get into like the in the extreme genres like metal, for them to
Hmm.
be like some kind of like pop sensibility or more mainstream like likes and stuff like that. But I find it weird when it's the other way around, like mainstream people like more of some of this extreme stuff, like Post
Yeah.
Malone liking metal and Billy
Yeah.
Strings liking Cryptopsy. I always find that stuff weird. Or I want to say even Demi Lovato said she went to a Job for a Cowboy show when she was a teenager.
Yeah. That's pretty weird. That's crazy.
So it's
Pretty
always weird
bizarre.
when mainstream people and artists are into that stuff, but it's still cool.
Hmm.
I want to say even this isn't extreme, but I guess I think American Idol, Carrie Underwood helped a guest sing Bodies by Drowning Pool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, but even then, that's body shit. Who hasn't heard that one? Carrie
Apparently
Underwood's crazy though. She fucking plays drums and everything.
yeah.
She's nuts.
Uh yeah. Other news? This is the one I sent you today, I think. And there's a
Hmm.
new tour announcement. Um, the name of this tour is
Yeah,
called
totally out of left
Rituals
field.
of Hate. Uh, this is the new Whitechapel is touring their new album Hymns of Dissonance with this tour again, but this time the tour album's actually out this time. But they are bringing some support from some heavy hitters. They have Body Snatcher, who makes me excited. Um,
Fuck you, motherfuckers.
we have Angel Maker, which is kind of I'm either way. I'm not super into Angel Maker. Some songs here and there, but it'd still be cool to see. But
Yeah,
their opener is exciting. And that is Disembodied Tyrant is opening.
yeah, that is pretty nuts, dude. I think it's a pretty stacked bill. All those bands obviously catch a lot of buzz. I think it'd be cool to see Angel Maker. They're now, being fronted by the dude Ian from X Rings of Saturn.
Ooh,
So yeah, he's now, I believe, their main vocalist. I want to say the other one left just recently.
yeah,
So
I remember seeing that. I didn't know he
uh,
took his spot. That's awesome. I've been wondering what he's been
yeah,
doing.
yeah, they recruited him a while back, and I want to say they toured like that with the duo for a while, and then the other guy just decided to quit, I guess. So
So do they still have two vocalists, or do they only have the one now?
I don't know. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I know they were like a two vocalist band, so I'm not 100% on that. I'm not big on Angel Maker, but I do think they'd be a fun band to see live. I know they played here in Columbia at, I want to say the Blue Note, and they fucking crushed. I heard nothing but good things. So,
I think it'd be interesting.
but
I
yeah,
don't know. I haven't never been super into them, and I think it is because the two vote. It just feels like there's too much going on. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe it'll be different live.
right. Yeah, they definitely got a lot in there, many layers in their sound, but they were one of those bands, that I was like, God, this shit's just too crazy, and then here we are many years later, and you got Larceny Row and Disembodied Tyrant and shit. So it's like, who knows where it's gonna even keep going. But yeah, man. So yeah, awesome bill, I think.
hmm And we have multiple chances to go see them because they have a St. Louis and a
Yeah.
Kansas City.
And ideal nights. One's a Friday, one's a Saturday. It's like, damn, that's
Oh yeah.
crazy.
So yeah,
In the Midwest, dude, to get those options, that's awesome.
and I think I even have more options because I want to say there's an Arkansas and a Oklahoma City date. So if I'm lame, and not able to go to those other ones, I can still go Sunday to Oklahoma or somehow on a Tuesday go to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
I don't think that one's happening,
Definitely.
but
Yeah. Definitely got the options.
hmm
Um, trying to think if I had dude, I know I had metal news. I'm just trying to remember what it is now. Damn. I don't know, man. Did you have anything else?
nothing I can think of because I always feel like that's why I try to send you some stuff. But
Yeah.
so that way I have like some kind of documentation like I can go back to, but I can't think of anything else of metal news wise. Um,
Let me
besides,
see if I can find something that reminds me. I knew there was something else I was going to bring up. I just cannot remember what it was. Oh, yes. Probably the most important metal news of the day. We have an update from the Masters of Speed themselves. I don't know if you saw this. I probably should have sent
oh,
it to you today.
I know what you're talking about.
The Spire of Arches has picked a new drummer. Archspire has picked a new drummer, and they've picked another Spencer. This time it is Spencer Moore, not their old one. Spencer, I can't remember his name.
Spencer Less.
Yeah, is that it? Or
No.
I don't know. Let's see. Here, let me get the dish. Let me do some online verification processing. But yeah, man. Spencer Moore, Spencer Pruitt. Okay, was the
Oh,
previous drummer for yeah many years, and so yeah, man. I want to say that they made a tag or comment saying that 420 BPM is not just a stoner thing anymore, or something like that. So I don't know. Apparently, they're going to try to write to 420 beats per minute. I don't know what
That's
that's gonna sound like, but
that's ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah, that is that band's goal is to go faster and faster every album, and I don't know why. Just sounds painful to do to yourselves, but more power to them, man. They're the kings of speed, so
Hell
excited to
yeah.
hear that.
Awesome. Glad Archspire's continuing because one of those once that drummer left, it is a weird situation. Like, so what do you guys do
Yeah,
now? Because I want to say they had a promo towards the or when they were announcing it was like how many people in the world could actually play this stuff, and how many of those people are willing to actually join the band, kind of thing. So it's one of those weird
right.
situations.
Yeah, it was definitely odd, but I guess I was more surprised at how many like submission videos they actually got. They
Hmm.
got a shit ton of submissions, and it's like, and I was kind of baffled that they're getting Ken Paradis thrown in their face like as an option, and they don't pick him. So it's like, holy shit, then who are you picking? You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, because I mean that dude's I think of legendary level, but he also got him a legendary spot being the drummer and aborted now. So
Hmm.
um, I think it would have been a hilarious move if they just did the swapperoonie and picked up the dude that aborted kicked out. But
Yeah, we here at
yeah, man.
Archspire believe in second chances. Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, man. So new Archspire drummer, new Archspire on the horizon, hopefully. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. Exciting times. Do you think maybe we get a new album later this year, or do you think it's gonna be till next year?
Uh, I don't see it being 2025. I'm betting it would probably be 26, maybe if we're lucky. If
I
they already
gotcha.
have songs lined up, I would imagine. But I get, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I just feel like it's been a long gap between the albums, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, what was the last one? Golden Mouth of Ruin, right?
And I want to say that was like around COVID.
Yeah. 2021.
Okay, so about 4 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it could go either way. They might actually wait until 20, because I feel like if you get a new drummer, you want to tour with them just to make sure everything's kosher and that he is broken in,
Hmm.
kind of thing. So we'll see.
Speaking of, if you can, go ahead and look up the Golden Mouth of Ruin cover picture.
I remember what it looks like.
And I don't know, I think I brought this, yeah, I remember I brought this up to you years ago when it came out, but I don't know if this was just a trick on their fan base. But they said, I remember it being stated, I don't know if it was a comment or their caption, but whenever this came out, a lot of people were like, why is the face squished? And they were like, you got to turn it sideways to get the effect or something. So I feel like I was trying to turn this cover sideways forever to get like the effect of the, like, it was, I don't know if it was 3D or something, but then I was just like, man, I think this band's really fucking with me or fucking with its fan base. But like the cover of it's always just looked off because of that squished skeleton face thing, whatever the hell it is. And like it's always driven me nuts. And I want to say it's Ellerin Cantor.
It does look
That's
like
what kind
his
of kills me.
style. I don't know.
Yeah,
It does look weird because I don't understand what's supposed to be going on. It looks like a giant
I
mouth,
know,
but on the
right?
back is a face. But out of the mouth comes, it looks like a bunch of gold bodies and a gold hand coming out. So I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's definitely uh like some mind fuckery of a cover.
Yeah, I don't think if you flip it, it looks any.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I would have to have the vinyl on my hands and really turn it, but then I feel like, I'm either just gonna end up being like, they got me. Or I think that would probably be the result. Because they're kind of a fuck around band. They do Twister in their mosh pits, so
Well, at least they're back. They're back.
yeah, for sure, man. exciting times.
Yeah, that's all I got for metal news. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it for me, man.
All right. It is kind of getting late, so are you ready to just let's get this Morbid Angel thing. Are you ready
Let's
for
do it.
that? Hell
Yeah.
yeah. All right, here we go. We got Morbid Angel, the legends themselves, almost as old as Death, but not somewhat newer. I want to say, like no matter what, they're in like the top, like the big four when it comes to early death metal. Like you got not Deicide, you got Death, Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse, and Obituary, I think is what people mostly consider as the big four. But I want to say Morbid Angel is probably, besides Death, is probably the earliest example of what death metal was. So this is a band I've always kind of somewhat known about, got into in different stages because I remember when I was like 12 or 13, I went to a friend's house back when we had only Xboxes, no numbers at the end, and his uncle uploaded some music for him. And at the time, I was mostly into like hip hop and rap, like Ying Yang Twins, Lil Jon. But he put Morbid Angel on his Xbox, and my buddy was like, "Look at this band called Morbid Angel." So I've always, since then, known about them. Uh, got into them and like when they had their comeback. So this is a band I've kind of like, but going through this more and more, their discography, this crushes. I do love Morbid Angel's discography, and this was an awesome. I think I got this done in about 2 or 3 days. Just solely listen to Morbid Angel because I love this, especially their early and mid stuff. They have a couple albums here
Hmm.
and there that aren't like, and I'll get to that I'm not into at all, but most of this stuff is awesome. So,
Hmm.
might as well just start at the beginning, way back in 1989. And that is their debut album, Altars of Madness. Um, this is so Death had already kind of laid the groundwork. I want to say at this point they had 2 or 3 albums already out. But this was, in my opinion, some people might have different opinions. In my opinion, this is more of what I think death metal sounds like. Like I feel like this sounds
Hmm.
more like death metal that we know it more than what Death was making at that time. And
I
so you got,
agree. They bring the heavy, whereas I think
mm,
that's where the death kind of lack,
mm-hmm. And I feel
put it
like
nicely.
it flows better. It has a more evil sound, and that's mostly because of Dave Vincent's vocals, and then Trey, a bunch of
Hmm.
letters. His guitar work is amazing. Very gives that sinister vibe, even just on Immortal Rights. That I don't know if that's the synths, but I want to say the guitars are also doing stuff on that, just adding that little extra, almost like classical music vibe a little bit to it. So even this album I love. You got Immortal Rights, Visions from the Dark Side, Maze of Torment, Chapel of Ghouls. Awesome album. Great start. I'm probably gonna give this one a 9. What's your thoughts on this album?
Um, I liked it. I don't know that I was crazy about it. I was kind of surprised that this album is so popular. I- and I'm going into this ranking totally Morbid Angel list, like in my previous years of listening to metal. Surprisingly, I don't know, missed them. But this was fun to do. But this album, I was like I said, I don't know. I was surprised to find that their top songs were off of this one. So
Hmm.
it's good. It's got the bones. It's got the groundwork there. I think of what this band does over time. So I would give this probably a 6.5.
Okay. Oh, and I might want to. I'm gonna put this up. I might have 2 10s for this one. For this discog, just a forewarning.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so you are allowed, if you have multiple 10s, you can give them out. Just so we are on even ground when it comes to this. So that way you're not like, well, I was saving my 10 for something else.
That works for me.
All right. So yeah, that was their debut. Just 2 years later, they come out with Blessed Are the Sick. And it feels like this one is, I don't know if they got a lot of money thrown at them. This feels like an even bigger step up. And from what I was reading, Trey, the guitarist, he was a big fan of classical music, and he actually dedicated this album to Mozart, and and that's why he incorporated a lot more classical musical elements in this album. And for the longest time, I always skipped this album just because the cover bugged the shit out of me because it's ugly as sin looking at it. But if you actually look at the
Jeez.
actual painting, it's actual awesome painting. I understand why they wanted to have it, but whoever put it on their album art, um, oversaturated the shit out of it and it looks like shit. But either way, the music itself, this is actually an awesome album. I would say better than their debut. You got Fall from Grace, Rebel Lands, Brainstorm. Um, this is an awesome album. I'm probably also going to give this one a 9, probably a 9.1, just to give it a little bit more of an edge over Altars of Madness. What's your thoughts on this one?
Okay. I scoped it. I still just it didn't pull me in to make me crazy about this band. I definitely think it's a step up from the last one. Seems like the structure of the songs are kind of getting rounded out a little bit better. But yeah, it was all right. So I'd probably give this one a 7.
Okay. So, 16.1. All right. Up next, we have, want to say, if I remember correctly, their most highest selling physical copies, and that is their third album, 1993's Covenant. Getting more into like the evil, satanic, like, oh, they've always been in a little bit of that. This is more in the forefront. We got songs
Okay.
like Rapture, Pain Divine, World of Shit, um, and then also their big one, God of Emptiness. Also, a song Sworn to Black. Um, Another awesome album. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my opinion. I'm only going to give 110. But it's not, I'm
Okay.
going to give this one a 9.4. What's your thoughts on this one?
This is definitely getting cooler, I think, sound wise. The vocals are like the one thing with this band is the vocals on every album have gotten better and better. And I think they continue to do so. But yeah, man, the riffage is even getting there too. Some groove and elements and just super badass heaviness throughout. Yeah, I like this one more. I think I would give this one probably a 7.5.
Okay. Doing math. All right. All right. So after Covenant, there was a little bit of a lineup shift. And so their rhythm guitarist, or one of their guitarists left, not Trey, but one of their guitarists left. So they decided to recruit this young guitarist from another band, uh, and that is the one and only guitarist that we've talked about a lot. Uh, that is Eric Rutan. He
Oh yeah.
joins Morbid Angel, and around this time they also decided to change their sound a little bit, get a little bit more into grooves, more awesome riffs. Uh,
Hell yeah, dude.
so this is kind of a divisive album. You have people who love this album and people who hate this album. Um, for me, there's songs I absolutely love on this album, but there's some weird things on this album. So I'm kind of in the middle of the road. But I will say I
Eyes to
absolutely,
see,
yeah,
eyes to hear,
I
ears to hear.
here's I do like that song, but for me the top songs on this is obviously Dominate, but then Where the Slime Live I think is
Yeah.
awesome as shit.
Oh, dude, that fucking riff, man. I feel like it got Rutan written all over it. That
Hmm.
fucking squeal to, woo, dude. Oh, it's so good.
Yes, that is what draws me in, and that's why the whole reason why I'm giving this one a kind of a high ranking is mostly because of that song. It's if I go to Morbid Angel, I'm usually listening to Where the Slime Live because that is an awesome song, awesome riff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. I was
but
glad to
there,
see that that was the number two top played song on Spotify. It's like, hell yeah,
yes,
that's fucking badass.
I will say though there is some more weird experimentation. I want to say, is it Caesar's Palace? Which one is it that is just like a long instrumental, but it's not like it's just almost like because that's the thing about forgot to mention the previous album. Sometimes they'll do like these interlude tracks, but it sounds like they're trying to be like epic and like ancient sounding, but it comes off more as like Age of Empires lobby music. Um,
Mhm.
and I feel like there's some
Dreaming,
song.
I think it is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And there's some of that more of that in here. It just kind of throws me off. But I'm still probably gonna
Yeah, it
give this
almost
a
kind of captures too much a little corny edge to it.
mm-hmm, which
But
kind of throws off that awesome heavy momentum that was in the first half of the album. But so I'm probably gonna give this a 9.5. What's your thoughts on this album?
I love this album, dude. It's where they really started to get my attention in the discography. And yeah, man, that riff on Where the Slime Lives, badass. And even like a weird kind of theme, I guess, it's like but it's great. It matches the cover well. I feel like it meshes with the cover well. But it's cool, man. I really dig this album. I think I would give this one a 9.
All right. I will say though, so I don't know how I feel about the album art.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the album art?
I like the album art with I like the slime maybe because I relate it to the green. I mean, but it looks old, pixelated, and it's looks like it's obviously just copy and paste symmetry type shit and kind of shitty in that way. But there's something about how the star kind of fixes it for me, and
Hmm.
the logo is also green. So the matching
Yeah.
colors, I really like that. And like I said, the star, it kind of breaks that symmetry for me. So I don't know. I
Yeah, and I
I
will
it's a pass for me, but
yeah.
I could see where it can be kind of hated.
I don't it's one of those things I'm on the edge about it, but I hate the alternate album art more, which I don't know if you've seen
Mm,
that. It looks
I
like
don't think so.
statues like half buried in sand, but they have like a reddish glow around them when they go around into the sand. It's just it's weird. But I
Hmm.
was looking at Morbid Angel merch, and I was specifically looking at the Dominate album's hoodie because it's a dark green hoodie with the album art on the back, so it
That's
adds more
cool.
to that slime. So yeah,
Yeah, that's tight.
so that's Domination, 1995. So a couple years later. There's more strife in the band. David Vincent, I don't know if he gets kicked out or leaves, but either way, he's no longer in the band after this album, and they recruit a new singer slash bassist named Steve Tucker. And for some reason at this point, Eric Rutan also leaves the band. He comes back later, don't worry. So I want to say I don't remember if they have a filling guitarist or if Trey just does this all by himself, but either way, with this weird lineup, they come up with an album 3 years later called Formulas Fatal to the Flesh. And also added on to that, from what I understand, this is where they stopped focusing so much on Satanism and start focusing more on ancient, the ancient ones that more
Hmm.
like an H.P. Lovecraft or ancient Sumerian stuff that Trey's very into. Uh,
Okay.
But even with that, they still chose to. So the reason it's three F's in the name is because F is the sixth letter of the alphabet, so it's still
Ha.
666. Um, and also still following that pattern of ABC for every album. Um, but I do enjoy this album. Um, and also there's this, I think this is the first time I've actually listened to this album all the way through. Awesome album. And from what I were reading, this is also an album that really um, influenced brutal death metal. And I can kind of see it
Mm.
in the song. I'm gonna butcher this. Umala Mari, which is heavy as shit. This is a heavy ass album. You got Heaving Earth, Bill Sag, uh, Nothing Is Not, Chamber of Dis, but again, still some of those weird interlude stuff at the end. But either way, this is still a really good album. I'm probably gonna give this one an 8. What's your thoughts on this one?
I thought it's cool. It's crushing. But it's a lot of that you can tell. I feel like that there's something different about the band. It's a lot of kind of start-stop riffage, with just kind of, erratic transitions. But I love the groove and riff and Nothing Is Not, dude. That is like sticks in my brain. That's so cool. But yeah, man, and I don't know that I was really digging the vocals, and then it kind of, falls off for me here. But I could definitely hear the brutal death in these vocals. Um, but yeah, all in all, it is cool. I don't know that it's my favorite, but I'd probably give this one an 8.
Okay. So,
I also hate this cover.
understandable. I feel like
Like,
it
what the hell is
feels,
this shit?
yeah, it feels like it's very 90s, like that weird, like abstract art and
Like,
trying
look
to,
at
and
the tiger face thing coming out of the fire
there's like
and the
horns for
teeth.
eyes.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck
Is it,
is this stupid shit?
well, is it horns for eyes, or is he like the cartoon when their eyes poke out of their head when they see something?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like they requested an abstract art cover, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I got you." And this is what he made.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird time for the band because, like I said, they lost their like main person, so they had replaced it with Steve Tucker, and then also Eric Rutan, who, and that's the thing. It's hard for me to tell. Is Eric Rutan changing the band sound, or is he adopting it to their sound and took it with him to his future bands? It's hard to tell for me. What's your
That is
thoughts on
true.
that?
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I think it could go either way. I think that really this band is kind of in the Eric Rutan lane. I mean, and vice versa. I think, he's there and maybe took elements with him, but it definitely sounds like he could still be in the band on this record,
Hmm.
with some of the riffs and stuff, in my opinion. But, you know, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like it's definitely noticeable when he is there too. So I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth, but
Yeah, it's. I do kind of wish that Morbid Angel would have Eric Rutan come back in this band because I feel like that would bring the excitement back for this band. But
yeah.
good news is for our next album, came out 2 years after that one. He comes back for an album, and that is
Oh yeah.
Gateways to Annihilation, and we're back to Morbid Angel being awesome again. Still has Steve Tucker, but you still got Eric Rutan writing awesome riffs. You got Summoning Redemption. You got Age of the Still I Am, He Who Sleeps. This is an awesome album. And I know originally I said I'm going to give 2 10s, but actually I think I'm not going to give it a 10 at all. Because now going back through these, I'm kind of having a hard time figuring out what would be best. But I'm still probably going to give this one probably the higher ranking, probably a 9.7. What's your thoughts on this album?
I love it, dude. I love this sound. It's kind of brings me back on the Angel train from the last record. Summoning Redemption, dude. I love the intro track and how it just rolls into so like it ends the intro track, but then the next song starts with the same stuff in the intro track, so you don't really know when it starts, but and then it just kicks into this badass riff, dude, in Summoning Redemption. And I feel like the band plays this riff as many times as I want. Like they just write it out on the beginning of the song, dude. And then they finally kick in the vocals later, and I feel like is this a different vocalist than the last record?
No, I want to say it's still Steve Tucker, the guy from Fatal Flesh, Formulas Made Flesh.
Okay. Well, it definitely seems like the patterning and shit like that is more well developed with this record, and I think the sound's just better too, in my opinion. But
Hmm.
awesome, badass riffage, So again, I don't know if that's the routine element or not. I don't know. I feel like you can also hear a sound like this record really reminds me of Hate Eternal. Like I
Hmm.
feel like that the tuning or something. It's just definitely got that Hate Eternal vibe. So, but I really liked it, man. I mean, sick riffage, super heavy, heavy as hell. This is a great death metal record for its time, I think.
Hmm.
Um, very awesome album, man. I would give this one a 9.5.
Okay. All right. So that's our new number one with a 19.2. All right. So up next, I'm just gonna be blunt. They go backwards a little bit. Eric Rutan's no longer in the band, and
Hmm. Crazy
this,
coincidence.
yeah, 2003 Heretic. So I never hear anyone talk about this album ever when talking about Morbid Angel, and I always uh wondered like, is it really that bad? And listening to it, like the first couple songs, like okay, this isn't bad, but after a while, I kind of get why. And then also, I've complained earlier about like these interlude tracks. This has a lot of those, and in fact, they have just a lot of just trash at the end of this album, to where it's just sound checks. Like there, this is what are you doing? If you're just filling up this album at this point, this feels,
Drum check.
yeah, this feels. And this is also the last album they did on Earache Records. So feel this. I've talked about before. There's bands that will do like a album just to end a contract. We've done a couple discographies with that, but they were still awesome albums. Strapping Young Lad had that, but it was still an amazing album. I want to say, was it Alien? I'm pretty sure no, it was The New Black was the last song on the album
Mm,
on that contract, but it was still awesome.
yeah.
This
Hmm.
is the opposite of that. This feels like they literally just had a couple songs like, fuck it, end this contract, and this,
The album,
um,
they definitely paid like a $20 bill for that album cover.
yeah,
Absolutely.
like the name of the album is probably the coolest thing about this album. Other than that,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna give this a 6. What was your thoughts on this? Have you listened?
Yeah, I would give this a 6 as well. I mean, it's just very clunky,
Mm-hmm.
for it, which it really threw me off when I first listened to it. But the clunk, it doesn't really go away. It's kind of throughout it, I feel.
Yeah.
Transitions just kind of sound a lot more rough. Um, so yeah, I didn't stick with this one a lot, but I'd probably give this a 6.
All right. So yeah, that's probably gonna be our bottom one. That is 2003's Heretic. Um, this album was so bad that they decided to just kind of take a break for a while. But 9 years later, David Vincent, or so at some point between 2003 and 2011, David Vincent rejoins the band. I want to say it's like mid 2000s, and they start working on their new album. But it takes a long time for this album to come out, and they were working on it for years. There's a lot of hype around this next album, but there was some warnings they kind of gave everyone that, hey, this new album is going to feature some industrial, is going to feature, we're
Hmm.
experimenting with industrial music. Uh, and most people, like, this is the album, when it came out, I went and bought it. Um, this is the only album I have of theirs that I've ever actually owned physically. So this
Hmm.
is kind of, but so what I'm talking about is 2011's Illud Divinum Insanus. Most people, when talking about this album, talk so much shit on this album, but,
Really?
but, I'm going to say one thing. Uh, I see some of their criticism because for the longest time I thought, yeah, this is just the industrial album. Going back through this is actually a pretty good album. Yes, there's some cringe parts on. It starts off with the long intro that they do, omnipotence, and then goes into Too Extreme, which already feels a little cheesy. Doesn't really help with that. This is like your first introduction of them introducing the industrial part,
With an
which just
exclamation point.
yes, and that is literally the chorus is we're too extreme, and it's has this annoying sound which just sounds like someone's just going in a microphone, and that's just throughout the song. So if that's your turn off, just stick with the album because immediately after it goes right back into kind of David Vincent's era of Morbid Angel, with Existo Vulgaro, Blades for Ball. There's some good stuff that if you like their old stuff, you'll like this stuff with 10 More Dead. But there is some other stuff going on. I Am Morbid. I can see people not liking this. It's has a very chanty vibe because that's the chorus. Is to chant almost like gang vocals in a Morbid Angel song. But I don't know. For me, it fits a little bit. I can understand people, the old school people, not liking it. But then there's also Radical, which is has some more cringe to it. I don't know. For me, there's some pretty good stuff in here, and then some cringe stuff. So I'm still gonna give this probably an 8. Uh,
Okay.
what's your? Do you have thoughts on this album?
Yeah, so I was excited when I first heard it, because it sounded like a different band, in my opinion. They definitely kind of changed from the deep, heavy, deathy tones and definitely got more of like a crisp, I guess that industrial tones and stuff like that there. But and I didn't know that, but definitely makes sense after listening to this because it kind of gives me like almost like the Ministry vibes. It reminds me of a band I used to listen to, Berserker. Did you ever listen to them?
I
They
keep
they
seeing
were
them, but
like
I don't.
they were uber industrial, like way more than this is. But the drums here on this album, dude, like they sound like it's programmed through a machine. Like the double bass is ridiculously clicky. But and I don't know if that's like if it is a drum machine. I mean, it honestly sounds like it could be to me, but um I think there's cool stuff in here. Like I
Mhm.
do like the constant like kick and pace of Too Extreme. Um, but yeah, some of like the I guess the lyrical content and stuff just kind of gets lackluster. But it was interesting. Um, but yeah, probably not my favorite. I think I would give this one a 7.5.
All right. So that means it's going to be tied with Altars of Madness at 15.5. All right. So, uh, there's some more lineup changes. Um, and another long gap because they decided to do some random things like in between these albums. To just double down on pissing off more of the death metal heads, they also released the remix of like it's all like industrial and dubstep remixes of Ella Divinum Insanus, as if they already didn't piss off a bunch of people. But anyway, later in 2017, so a lot happened between 2011 and 2017. Pete Sandoval, the original drummer, left the band. And then eventually, I think David Vincent either got kicked out or left again. Um, and him and Pete Sandoval kind of started working together. They reformed Terrorizer because both of them were members of Terrorizer back in the day, the
Oh, okay.
original grindcore, death grind, whatever you want to call them. So they restarted that. And Trey got a hold of Steve Tucker to come back into the band. So he's back at the helm doing vocals and bass. And a lot of people were excited. I was excited for this album, and this is 2017's Kingdom Disdained. I love this album artwork. Having this be promoted,
Hmm.
a lot of excitement going in. I remember they released the first single, Pile of Arms. It was back to that No More Industrial, kind of back to that dirty, grimy, heavy sound, kind of like a fail formulas made flesh or gateways kind of era. So a lot to
Super
be
Death.
excited about. Yeah, a lot to be excited about. Then it comes out, and I feel like a lot of people have the same reaction to it. And it's not that the songs are bad; it just feels like the drums are so overpowering on this album. It just consumes this whole album. There's still some cool parts here and there. I do like Garden of Disdain, Pile of Alarms. But I don't know. For me, it sounds like there's just the drums just absorb this album. So I have a hard time enjoying this album. I'm probably gonna give this one a 7. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. I gotta say, this is my favorite Morbid Angel album cover. I feel like they actually got something
Hmm.
of quality. Um, and yeah, dude, just a badass artwork. But yeah, I was excited for it too, and I feel like they changed a lot from the last album, but the drums. Like I feel like the industrial drum type shit stayed. It's still really clicky on the pedals, and it's just this is uber blast death metal, whereas I kind of prefer this band's groovier phase and their,
Hmm.
in their mid range. It's just I love the chunks that they brought in that era. Definitely a lot more so than this just constant blast in your face type stuff. So
Hmm.
I think there's some of those elements in here, but definitely um, not as much as back in the day. So yeah, for me, it's not up there in their discog. I would probably give this one an 8,
Okay.
or no, probably 7.5, honestly.
All right. So that is our Morbid Angel discography. At number one, we have Gateways to Annihilation with a 19.2, Domination with an 18.5 at number two, Covenant at number three with a 16.9. Then we got Blessed Are the Sick with a 16.1, Fatal Formulas Made Flesh 16. We got Ty at 15.5 with Altars of Madness and Illud Divinum Insanus. We got a 14.5 for Kingdom to Disdain, and very much at the bottom is Heretic with a 12. Um, Morbid Angel now is very much a shell of what they used to be. So for those who aren't keeping track of Morbid Angel, it's just Trey pretty much now. Steve's still in the band. Then some like random members. I don't know who these other members are. But they've also made it very clear that they will not play any of the David Vincent era stuff. So it's literally
Oh
just
wow.
Fatal Formula, Gateways. Hopefully they're not playing any Heretic and Kingdom Disdained. So if you're wanting to go see Morbid Angel, expecting to see the stuff you loved growing up, you're more than likely not going to see it. And yeah, there's that. But there's also, so I mentioned that Pete Sandoval and Dave Vincent, they like restarted Terrorizer. They also decided to form their own kind of Morbid Angel called under the title of I Am Morbid. And I want to say they even got one of the other members, I think Tim Young, because I don't know if Pete Sandoval's
Hmm.
technically it. Some other member is from Morbid Angels in the band as well, and they only play the first four albums of Morbid Angels discography. So Altars of Madness through Domination. So it's one of those things like
Okay.
which era do you want more? You can go see that
Yeah.
live. And from what I understand, not only are they doing that, but I think they are also working on possible new material with I Am Morbid. So that is also interesting to see. See what's gonna happen, because I don't know it's been 8 years since Morbid Angels came out with an album. I don't know what
Yeah.
they're gonna do.
They
And
should recruit the most important piece of their history,
Eric
the
Rutan.
one, the only. Yes, that would
And
be sick.
also, I also say the former shell because also I think we talked about last year. There was this huge tour that they were going to headline with a bunch of death metal bands, and they dropped off, and they were replaced by I Am Morbid,
Oh, huh.
which I gotta wonder how much of a slap in the face is that, if that is considered,
Yeah.
because I don't know if there is bad blood between them or not. I'm assuming
Huh.
there's pretty much it's almost like two Batushkas, but
Yeah,
it's two
right.
Morbid Angels.
Huh. That
But
is
yeah.
a tough situation.
Yeah, just kind of wish, just get all those members back. Get Dave Vincent back, get Pete Sandoval back, and get Eric Rutan back. And then
Yes, the one, the only.
come out with I guess it would be M now. Ooh, because they came out with like an EP. It's like the laid back remixes, so that would be the L.
Mm.
So I think they should get all the original members back and Eric Rutan, and for their next album, just have it self-titled.
Oh, that's a good move.
Yeah,
That is a
that would
good
be
move.
perfect. And then you can actually just end the band at that point. I feel like that's the
True. Yeah,
perfect
that's like
full
the
circle. You
seal.
don't have to do the alphabet. Just end it with self-titled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I want Eric Rutan to stray from where he's at though. Him and
It would only
Cannibal is like my favorite soup.
Well, is he doing anything with Hate Eternal anymore? Because I don't feel like I see anything about.
I don't think so. I think it was kind of clear that he was going to, once he joined Cannibal, he's going to spend his time, I think, towards that. But yeah, it's not to say, that he may just be kind of backpiling written songs for Hate Eternal.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's pretty much his show, I think. So,
yeah. I don't know. I feel like though, with if he did do that with Morbid Angel, it would really only take like maybe 3 years because it's just maybe the year to write the album and then like 2 years to tour on it. Then you can just say, "Hey, Morbid Angel's folded." Then he can go back. I feel like he could pull
right.
off
Yeah,
without aggravating Cannibal,
right. True.
but. But yeah, that was our Morbid Angel discography. How'd you enjoy it? Do you have a
I enjoyed
appreciation
it,
for
man.
Morbid Angel?
Yeah, I do. I was enlightened and I was relieved to find a band that I actually really like the sound of, that's, even from an older era to capture the vocals that they did for their time, I think was really beyond themselves. Like they knew what was up, man. That was really cool and refreshing to hear some badass vocals from back in the day. So,
Hell
in
yeah.
like on the beginning days, it was definitely more kind of almost like a thrashy bass, but they definitely dawned into a badass death tone. So, yeah, man, cool. It was a fun band for sure.
Yeah. So it is now your turn. Who would you like to do for a new discog?
Okay, I'm gonna throw two D's at you. It's the double D offer. And one you mentioned this episode, and then the other I've mentioned as a previous suggestion. So you have Defeater
Ooh.
or Decapitated.
Let's do, because I've actually already started. Let's do Decapitated, because I actually did. As soon as I got done
Oh,
with Morbid
nice.
Angel, I checked out Winds of Creation. And I was actually
Yeah.
surprised at how good it was for it being their what is that their debut?
It might be. Um, shit, let me see. They're such a good band, man. And they're kind of one of those that, I guess we'll get into it on the ranking, but in my opinion, kind of prime in their earlier Discogs. But let's see. First album, Winds of Creation. Yep, you're right.
I got you. Yeah, that was a lot. I was expecting like, all right, I might not like this, and it's gonna be super raw. No, this was actually pretty good right off the bat. So yeah, I'm fine with. Let's do Decapitated.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, next week we'll do Decapitated. Do you have anything to add for this week?
I do not, man.
All right. Ready for some plugging?
Plug it.
Or do you want to plug
Stuff it.
this time?
Oh, Rogue nicotine pouches, wintergreen. I'm on the 6 currently. It really gets me my fix. Gets the edge off. That and yeah, shit. I don't know. Just trying to think. Deer Duff insulation for all your insulation needs. Dejector music for sick heavy riffs and tunage. And that's about it, man. That's all on my plug.
Well, where can they check us out if they wanna find?
You could find Dejector. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on the Apples. Might be on a TikTok somewhere. Might be going viral as we speak. Who knows? Might wake up and be rich tomorrow. So we'll see. But it depends on you to go check it out. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
do so.
But if they like this episode, where can they check us out at?
I don't know. Spotify maybe.
Spotify,
Apple,
maybe Apple Podcasts, maybe just
YouTube.
maybe just anywhere they get their podcast media, maybe. Yeah, they can check us out on
Yeah.
YouTube. Is there any social media we're on?
Yeah. I want to say the Instagrams, Facebooks, TikToks, s- uh, phew, X maybe. Are we on X?
No. Maybe we should be.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
We
No.
can do
Yeah.
X, we can do Threads. I don't know, I
We
don't
can
really
get
get on
political.
it. Yeah. Prefer not to, but we could.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, check us out everywhere, man. We're all
Yeah.
over.
And if you have the ability on whatever you're checking us out on, make sure you give us a review, subscribe to us, so that way you can keep in the know.
Yeah.
You can also email us at deathmetaldays@gmail.com if you want to email us directly. But yeah, until then, that's all we got this week. Death Metal Daddy's out.
Death Metal Daddy's out. Fuck Big O. Fuck Big O.